And onto the grid then. On row number 1, we have 2 Division 2 trucks, which always causes a bit of excitement into the first corner. Simon Cole and John Powell in the Iveco and the DAF. Neil Yates in the MAN TG alongside David Smith in the MAN TGX. Mans again on row 3, Dave Jenkins and Stephen Powell. Michael Oliver, who's had a pretty interesting weekend on row 4 alongside the 8-time champion Ryan Smith. On row 5, the BTCC driver Sam Osborne, his first ever weekend of truck racing, already had 2 wins across the 4 races alongside the long-standing Tom O'Rourke. And we should also have a row number 6 as well. Yeah, Archie Handy and John Ballard, another debut weekend for Archie Handy in the Volvo FM12 and the MAN TGX. So 12 trucks on the track, and I have got no sign yet. I might be doing this one solo. Oh no, I can just about see Pointy. He's having a chat with the fantastic Ella, who does a lot of the media and social stuff here at Bark. They are both heavy sunglass wearers. Mine are Ray-Ban, what's yours? Oh, I got mine from Tesco's for £3, Pointy says.
In the box this time is Paul Rivette.
But they're UV protection, so I'm all right. Right, we're under the pace trap. They will come around to the grid. And we should just get one full lap under the pace truck.
I could ask you why.
It's going very, very slow on this occasion. Usually goes a little bit faster.
So the man they put in the truck is a touring car driver from the Napa team and been doing extremely well.
So front row, Simon Cole on the left-hand side in the pink.
You know, he's won 2 out of the 4 races in Division 2 this weekend. And
on the right-hand side, nice to see, in fact, John Powell's truck, because after the last race, he was losing quite a lot of oil, it must be said, and has actually sat in the assembly, the Parc Fermé, for at least half an hour after the race. So reliability issues across several of the trucks this weekend. Hopefully none in race number 5, and we just do get 15 minutes of full-on roaring. And when I say roaring, if you've not been trackside for British truck racing yet, please do try and do it this season. You won't believe the ringing in your ears and the vibration they cause across the entire race circuit, wherever you are. It is quite a spectacle.
Of a dent into the championship this weekend. He's had some results, he's put some points in the bag, but with you out of it, you'd have thought John may well have tried to win all.
So far this weekend, we had race number 1, Ryan Smith did cross the line. Then it had a penalty, dropped down to 3rd. Then the penalty was rescinded and went back to 1st, with Dave Jenkins and Steve Powell alongside him on the podium. Dave Jenkins took the win in race number 2, ahead of Ryan Smith. Some brilliant defensive work, and Stephen Powell in 3rd. Race number 3, Ryan Smith winner again, ahead of Michael Oliver. Couldn't quite do the defensive work of Dave Jenkins in race number 3. Powell again 3rd place. And then race number 4, Pointy, who has just landed on the sofa with Force next to me. Do we know the result of race number 4?
No, and I'm not here to commentate this time. I'm just here to sit under the air conditioning because it's lovely. No, so I've not yet handed out the trophies for race 4. Yeah, I think there is a decision being made. I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it, so we're just going to have to wait and see who gets them. I'm handing both sets of trophies out after the next race.
Okay, so let's not make any speculation on the results, but generally the results come through, even if they're amended quite quickly. Is there an appeal in, or let's talk about it just from a fact perspective?
Yeah, so from a fact perspective, if you were to go on TSL right now, the results would stay at the moment as they cross the line, which would be Smith, Jenkins, Powell. So as of at the moment, that is all we have to go on officially. So only time will tell. I mean, you know, there's there's lots of talk in the paddock, but that is all, of course, as you've quite rightly said, speculation. We can only go off what we see. However, what we've got to remember is TMS, our onboard camera sponsor this year, get the angle a lot more clearly than we do, and that is, of course, what they'll be looking at in the Clerk of the Course's office in the tower. That's what they'll be looking at. So, you know, we could be completely wrong. We could see something they don't. It's anyone's guess at this time, but yeah, going off what's written down, it's still Smith, Jenkins, Powell for the results of the last race.
And after 2 races, you have completely scared Stuart Oliver off, haven't you?
Yes, we got rid of him now, it's fine. I think he enjoyed his time in the commentary box, but yeah, perhaps not something he'll be making a career out of. He much more prefers the racing, I think it's safe to say.
But how good to have a driver's perspective in here?
Well, when, you know, last night, you know, he was sat there looking a bit down in the dumps, as you would be, having done a part of a race, and there's 5 races in total. And I was like, I know what would be a good idea. We've got commentary on circuit this weekend. Let's get you in there for a driver's perspective, and I think it's great. I think it really brought a different angle, someone that literally does sit in those things and then would be watching the race and commenting on it. I think it was great. And
he could give answers that we could only guess the answers to, couldn't he, as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I've been accused of knowing a bit about this, but and I do mean it is a blind accusation. It's like, you know, you almost sound like you knew what you were talking about then. Almost.
For those that don't know, you've never raced trucks, but you are deep in that paddock, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a plumber. You know, I'm not even a commentator, Ewan. I think you'll be well aware of that by now, having spent the weekend with me. You know, I'm nowhere near a professional anything. In fact, I'm not a very good plumber either, to be honest.
I've seen some of your wells.
But yeah, I mean, I've been hanging about with the truck racing now for, you know, almost 15 years on and off, and we've been around Europe together. I've know a lot of the drivers, and you know, although it's just a great thing to be part of. It's a great hobby. It's a great thing to do. It's a great life experience. You really do get to see so much action in this sport, and again, the atmosphere is what we come down for every weekend.
Now, you say you're not a commentator. This is my first ever lead commentary on motorsport as well.
Motorsport.
We are winging this together.
Absolutely, but I know you are a professional commentator. So.
Dave Goddard back in the hot seat, and his British Encyclopedia knowledge of motorsport racing, hopefully from the next race onwards.
We'll see.
And
unless obviously there's like an accidental online vote and he gets completely boycotted by accident. I mean, I love Dave; he's a great guy. Really, I wouldn't want to replace Dave.
There we say, get your votes in now.
Yeah, just vote in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube live, vote on the comments below, and put us back in our place, probably.
No, please, just say nice things. Just say nice things.
I mean, either vote, they're going to win, aren't they? You or Dave, both fantastic blokes, very knowledgeable, very good at what you do, and that's what's most important.
Do you know what? I'd be proud if I could say I know 5% about motorsport as much as Dave Goddard does.
You'd be lucky. 5%. It's reaching a bit, mate, I'll be honest with you.
I know there's 12 trucks on track right now, and
well, that's more than I knew. I haven't had a chance to count them past the window.
The pace truck should peel into the right-hand side of the Cymrain Woodlands and before the Honda curve, and then they'll cross the start-finish line for the first time. 15 minutes of truck racing, the 5th of 5 races in the series this weekend, and there is never ever in truck racing 2 races exactly the same, and that has not been proven more.
Well, till in the last lap anyway.
Yeah, it's just even when it's over, it's not over.
It's not over, no, not until the fat lady sings, as they used to say. But here they come now, down the pit straight, away from Honda, full speed ahead, the lights go out, and we are racing. Steve Powell out to the outside, very dodgy move, 3 abreast, followed very closely by brother John from Division 2, and Dave Smith looking for the outside line as Simon Cole takes it in tight, followed by Neil Yates. Neil Yates a little bit wide there. It's clean from Ryan Smith, Archie at the back. Tom O'Rourke right in the thick of it, neck and neck there with Dave Jenkins as he just manages to pull ahead. But a good lead for Steve Powell. Oh, we've got contact there. Dave Smith just happens to tap into Neil Yates there, sending Neil Yates onto the grass. Will he manage to get back onto the circuit without causing another issue? Yes, it looks okay. Gosh.
Stephen Powell, is that the move of the weekend? Off the start-finish line into first position. On the outside, Ren Hatchett's hairpin. Talk about bravery with 5 ton under your feet.
They say you struggle with 2 abreast into the entrance of Hatchett, so I'm very impressed with that. I tell you what though, Dave Smith now off in the number 11, just cutting onto the grass slightly. You can tell the energy. The sun has definitely got to the heads. We've had a full day of sunburn, and it is going to get real this last race at Pembrey.
They can almost taste the alcohol already at the after party. Dave Jenkins around the outside of Simon Cole, who was our pole sitter. Michael Oliver will follow him through, as will potentially Ryan Smith. The 3 Div 1 takes to get through past Simon Cole, who goes out wide. Probably the safest thing to do for Simon Cole. Get out the way.
Yeah, indeed. So, I mean, you know, you have got to understand you've got there the top of Division 1 trying to get past a Division 2 truck. It's something that needs to be decided pretty early on. So, yeah, no, he's coming. I'll move out of the way.
In terms of Div 2 trucks, still, well, first and second was Cole, but Powell going nicely in second place right now. He's got Dave Jenkins all over his tail, and you'd expect these Div 1 trucks to get through at some point. And there's the number 11, Smith, going through on Simon Cole as well. He's falling down the order, but he's in a completely different race to these guys. You've got Osborne and Handy at the back right now. How good has Osborne been this week? He's been great, hasn't he?
He has been fantastic. And I mean, of course, we did have a Division 2 result last weekend at Brands Hatch where Paul Rivette, sorry, lost my teeth then. Paul Rivette ended up taking an overall win from the Division 1 and 2, but of course it still only classified him for a Div 2 trophy.
I mean, you don't see that very often at all. A Div 2 winning,
but
I don't think I've ever seen it.
To win overall from 2 divisions, but I tell you what, John Powell has found some fairy dust in his camp at lunchtime, missing the previous race, but he's doing extremely well to hold his position, but very tight round Hatchett's there.
I mean, Powell,
Oliver,
he was losing oil at the end of the last race, wasn't he?
Not good at all for John Powell. So yeah, so to come from that, losing oil, new head, he's even looking for a spot now past the inside of Michael Oliver as they come round to Benny on to turn 4. Will he make it stick? No, he manages to drop back just in time, but that of course then leaves another position free for Ryan Smith to come screaming through behind him. Ryan Smith now looking for the back end of Michael Oliver. This is great bump drafting, as they call it, taking the wind and following very closely behind him. He's going to be looking for an overtake very soon, I think, Ewan.
Synchronised overtaking on Powell by the 2 Div 1 leaders, Michael Oliver and Ryan Smith. It's Powell now up in front in the number 3. Of course, we've got 2 Powells, of course, but it's the number 3 leading the way. And just a little couple of wheels on the grass. Oh, save for Oliver, and this will surely let Ryan Smith through into second position as they come round the Honda curve.
Beautifully done.
That'll be so difficult for Oliver to hold on to.
Surgical overtake by Ryan Smith there, absolutely beautiful.
And 4-second advantage to Powell. We've seen those leads scythe through. Dave Jenkins, of course, in the 69 in second place right now. Powell out in front, so 9 seconds in total from Smith to the lead with the big black truck of Dave Jenkins in between them. We've got another thriller on our hands.
This is definitely race 5, just checking. I mean, we've got Powell, Jenkins, Ryan Smith coming for the pair of them. I tell you what, it's been an interesting weekend. All, I might add, of course, Ryan Smith proving why he's got those consecutive championship titles. Because, you know, he can literally come from the back of the pack and show everybody what he's made of.
And I think we all know what his dream is, to get the number 10 or even more, because Stuart Oliver, who's been with us, 10-time consecutive champion. Ryan Smith currently on 8, needs to do it 2 more times. You can't really see him being stopped, can you?
I tell you, someone's got to pull some serious rabbits out of the hat to be able to knock Ryan Smith off the top spot. And well deserved as well. I mean, he's worked very hard. He's got a good team behind him. And, you know, the driving, you can say whatever you like about the truck, but there is driving skill there. There has to be at this level.
Watching O'Rourke fending off John Bowler for 6th and 7th in class. John Powell dropping down the order, but still leading the Div 2 ahead of Simon Cole. A little bit of trouble for Yates in the 33 ahead of Osborne and Handy as we go right to the back of the field.
Yeah, Simon Cole next to Neil Yates. It looks like they're in their own little race. A little bit of sideways action there. Oh dear, we've had a bump there. We've lost Neil Yates. Spins out. Simon Cole comes into contact. Sam Osborne getting involved there as well. Onto the grass. Sam Osborne and Neil Yates away again, though, as to is Simon Cole. But of course, that does severely hold up the position that Simon Cole had just ahead of Sam Osborne.
Sam Osborne getting the full British truck racing experience this weekend.
He certainly is. I tell you what, as long as he walks away from it, that's what we all want.
Powell ahead of 3.5 seconds now, back to Dave Jenkins, 4.5 back to Ryan Smith. So the 9-second disadvantage Smith had over the leader has been cut just down to 7.
He's catching him. He's catching it each lap. This is the thing. He's slowly catching Monkey with still 9 minutes just left on the clock. He's still catching him enough each lap to be able to make it stick. But of course, we've got that added thing, usually around the 5 minutes remaining mark, where we'll catch the back of Division 2, we'll see that snarl up that traffic, and that's when we'll start to separate the men from the boys once again.
Now, Stephen Powell has had a brilliant weekend, as 3rd place in races 2 and 3. We're not sure about race 4. He's definitely somewhere on the podium.
Yeah, so 3 trophies overall for Steve Powell this weekend so far, which is just great news for him, it really is. And Michael Oliver, of course, taking that 2nd earlier on as well. But yeah, it really is going to be down to who takes race 4. But Division 2, of course, is an overall point scoring for them. We're doing a trophy 1st, 2nd and 3rd for overall points in Division 2 this weekend. So even though we're only doing 1st place for each Division 2 truck, we're doing overall points for the weekend, which is a nice little thing to go away with, I think.
Now, the great thing about truck racing is there are battles throughout the entire field, despite only having 12 trucks on the course. We're watching Smith hold off O'Rourke and Bowler right now. Oh, there's another one. Is that on the grass, or is that just going out wide there? That's Archie Handy on his debut weekend in the pink number 40.
Chatting to Dan Simon Cole earlier on in the paddock, though, very proud. You know, much to learn, much to still achieve, but at the same time, very impressed.
And I mean, to go from Fiestas to 5-ton truck, that's a jump, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Sam Osborne, British touring cars to truck racing. The driving style is very similar, vehicles completely different, but what a baptism of fire for young Archie.
Bowler had a little sneak at an idea. Oh, another one got, that's Michael Oliver off the track. No. He's in the grass, and that
off
looks...
by Spitfires, is that?
Yeah, that Spitfires are turn number 2, and that is not looking great. He's not even trying to get back on the track right now.
He's still rolling, looking for a gap, though, because, of course, at this part in the race, people are going to be coming round out of hatchets at high speed on the hard acceleration. He has made it back onto the tarmac very slowly, though.
Yes.
Almost in limp mode, I'd say, unless he's looking for a space to accelerate.
Well, he's found the space to accelerate, but he's not putting the foot down. Smoke coming out of the front right-hand corner. Is that something rubbing against the trim? Will he pull it?
He's pulling in, he's off. He's got an issue there. He has pulled off. It might be a flat. The smoke you've seen was probably steam from the brake discs, of course. We spoke about the water-cooled braking systems earlier on. But for Michael Oliver to pull in, that's certainly done something. And just lucky for the rest of the racing drivers that he was in a position to remove himself from the track.
So we might get a replay of that. Maybe it was a lock-up into that turning. Didn't see a spin or anything like that. It just seemed to come off the track, and that was it, sort of like job done. I'm sure Pointy will find out a little bit later on from either Michael or Stewart. We go back to this battle further down the pack between O'Rourke and Baylor, which is now a fight for 5th and 6th place. John Powell ahead of Yates, and of course Michael Oliver off the track, so Osborne, Cole and Handy still 2nd, 3rd and 4th in Division 2. 5 seconds now, only the gap between Powell, Jenkins and Smith. That's only come down by 3 seconds in about the last 5 minutes. So based on that and just projecting forward, Powell's looking pretty good here right now.
Very, very well indeed. Yes, so Jenkins and Steve look to be doing quite well, but I don't want to put the commentary curse on them, of course. They've still got about 5 laps left to battle with each other, of course. Because don't forget, Jenkins might be happy where he is, but he still wants to try and get that overall 1st place for the race. But look at there, Ryan Smith screaming round the corner of Honda there. Down the pit straight, he is looking for that 1st place again. He's just, look at the lap times, incredible. 1 minute 11.4. That's insane. It really is.
He took half a second off of Dave Jenkins on that lap, and I'm going to say only half a second, because that is not going to be enough if he wants to catch him, because they're only going to get 4 more laps in before we drop down to 0 seconds remaining. But again, regardless of the result in this one, he's extended his championship lead, and again, it just sort of looks formidable. Gutted for Stuart Oliver. He was 3rd in the championship, just 13 points behind, but without finishing 5 races, that is championship done, isn't it, without being too harsh?
Yeah, I mean, he's got, like I say, there's got to be some very serious issues with other teams to give you an opportunity long enough and big enough to be able to make those points up, you know. Again, it's like in Division 2, of course. Consistency is key. You don't even have to go home with that many trophies through the year to be able to win overall on points. It's just based purely on consistency and reliability of the truck. But, I mean, look at Sam Osborne there. The back end twitching around. He's certainly putting the pedal to the metal there as he comes out of Debeni into turn 4.
Now, Stuart Oliver will need Ryan Smith to have a weekend off, essentially.
Yeah, effectively, he's going to need to take a holiday.
And as we've, I mean, and we've seen it happen. I mean, it doesn't not happen.
No,
people have technical issues.
I mean, we never wish ill of any team. Like I say, I love all these drivers, and whoever's at the front, I want them to win whilst they're at the front, you know. But at the same time, you know, Ryan Smith is very, very good with the points so far, and he would have to have missed quite a bit of racing to make a big difference to the rest of the championship.
Now, the gap between Powell and Jenkins has barely changed. It's always been around between 1 and 2 seconds. However, Ryan Smith has taken a second off the gap to Jenkins on that last lap. That was down from 4.5 to 3.5 and now 2.5. They're coming up against the back marker of Handy. They both get through Powell and Jenkins. However, Ryan Smith will have to wait, and that could be significant if he can't get past really quickly.
Something tells me he's going to get past Archie pretty quickly. I mean, I reckon next time we see them come past, he'll have already done him on the pit straight, as he has indeed. We see them come round the corner. Jenkins looking at the inside line, slipstreams out to the left, looking for the wide. Will he be able to outbrake Steve Powell? No, where's Steve going? Comes out wide, tucks it in. Very good drive from Dave Jenkins there as he manages to avoid that interesting readjustment from Steve Powell, the number 3, just before the entrance to Hatchetson.
That is incredibly close.
And time was good.
Dave Jenkins knew exactly what he was doing. He looked like he'd fallen too far back, but left the braking incredibly late, and now he's right on the tail of our leader, Steve Powell. Dave Jenkins, of course, going for his second win of the weekend after he held off Ryan Smith in race number 2. That was a race we'll never forget, one of the laps of the season we had yesterday. And of course, whenever there's a battle, it lets the person behind chasing catch up ever so slowly. 2.3 seconds on the last lap, and that is going to be cut once again as we come into what is going to be our penultimate lap. We'll get 2 more laps in before we see the checkered flag. Is that going to be enough for Ryan Smith? Can Dave Jenkins get past Stephen Powell, or can Powell hold on as he's done so far for 13.5 minutes? He's just got to survive 2 more. Dave Jenkins moves to the inside. This is exactly what he did last time. Then has a look on the outside. How late can he leave the braking? Dave Jenkins on the outside. Can he get him on the switchback? Stephen Powell defends once again, and that lets Ryan Smith back in.
Ryan Smith has joined the group. Yeah, that's it, group chat. Ryan Smith joins the group. Right on the tail now, Dave Jenkins. Of course, Dave Jenkins not only looking to overtake Steve Powell now, you can see Steve pulling away slightly as Jenkins realises Ryan Smith's right behind him, starts to get into defensive mode, as we spoke about earlier on. Look at the pull away there as Jenkins concentrates on Ryan and Steve starts to pull away. But really, we've still got 50 seconds left. Is this the last lap? Will this be the decider? We've got another Division 2 truck to get past. This could be the decider.
This will be our last lap coming up next time round across the start-finish line, and they're going to move past our pole sitter Simon Cole. That's how quick these Div 1 trucks are. They'll get round, not round Woodland, they'll take it onto the Honda curve, and as you said, Pointy, Dave Jenkins trying to get past traffic, trying to get past Steve Powell, and trying to defend from the 8-time champion. It's a tough old task on his hands. Ryan Smith looks down the outside of Dave Jenkins. Steve Powell will lead into the hairpin for the final time. 1 more lap to go. Maybe not this time. Will Ryan Smith dart to the inside, get him on the switchback? Dave Jenkins defending, and he won't get through that time. So Jenkins looking forwards and back, round Spitfires. Still 1, 2, 3. This is giving Powell every advantage he can to take potentially his first win of the weekend. He might have won race 4, we don't know. So we'll call it, and damage their connection. And we're losing some trim. The right rear of Dave Jenkins against the front right of Ryan Smith. That's how close things are.
So close.
Not just close, but touching. And Steve Powell is looking good now as they go towards the Brooklands hairpin for the last time. There'll be 2 more right-handers, and these aren't really overtaking opportunities. So Stephen Powell in race number 5 of the weekend as they come round Woodlands, the penultimate corner.
I'm holding my breath.
Smith still racing against Jenkins. 1 more turn for Honda. But Steve Powell, surely now, is going to be a winner in British truck racing here at Pembrey in race number 5. That is how they cross the line. Ryan Smith has 1 more go on the outside, but it's too late. Dave Jenkins second, Ryan Smith in third. That is British truck racing in a nutshell.
Oh my gosh, action-packed throughout again. I tell you what, all credit to Steve Powell, but my God, what a driving from Ryan Smith again. It literally is, it's like watching a pro. We've got lots of steam and smoke coming though as Tom O'Rourke comes round with John Bowler across the line. It's Bowler for O'Rourke for Dave Smith. Neil Yates still just finishing off his final lap as well as the Div 2s come round. John Powell will be very happy with his first place currently holding, with quite the gap ahead of Sam Osborne, so he'll be thrilled with, especially with the issues he's had this weekend, to get another first place trophy.
And I make that, is that 5 podiums for Sam Osborne in his debut? Of course, there's only 4 cars, of course, but still 5 podiums plus the wins in there. Great start and potentially end to his British truck racing career.
Yes, well, you say that, Ewan, but I mean, we've spoken to the guy a couple of times now, and I've got a feeling.
Have you?
He says we'll never be able to replace the touring cars, but when you look in his eye, you're like, oh dear, oh, we've got you. But don't let Barkey say that. They'll be annoyed if we steal a driver off them.
We will wait and see. Pointy, thank you for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure, all these 5 races.
Thank you.
Let's see some replay.
Go through that first replay again.
You get down.
I'll get down there. See you later, you.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you so much. This was the move that set up the entire race. Powell down the outside into turn 1 of lap number 1, and he would never look back after that. Ryan Smith and Dave Jenkins, they're 6th and 8th respectively around the first corner, but they would come through for 2nd and 3rd. Dave Jenkins into 4th already by DeBenny on lap number 1. But Stephen Powell would move away. Eventually the Div 2 trucks would fall back. Of course, lower power. They're never going to hang on up front there, although Paul Rivette did do that at Brands Hatch. Coming off the track there on the outside, around towards the S's. And then Michael Oliver did hold off for a little while, Ryan Smith, but got through at the Honda curve at the end of lap number 3. We did lose Michael Oliver later on. We're not sure why yet. We didn't see him come off the track, but he did go into limp mode and came off into the assembly area. This was a big chance for Dave Jenkins. That's about as close as he got to Stephen Powell, but at the same time, he was defending from Ryan Smith. That is how it ended. 1, 2, 3, Powell, Jenkins and Smith. There are your official results. Ryan Smith passed his lap, so a bonus point for him in a 1:11.42, set very early on lap 4 during his chasing. But your top 3, Powell, Jenkins and Smith across the line, separated by about a 1.5 seconds. Ridiculous stuff in truck racing. 4th to 7th in the class, John Bowler, Tom O'Rourke, David Smith and Neil Yates, themselves having a great race. And in Div 2, John Powell ahead of Sam Osborne, who sends back to BTCC after this weekend. And then Simon Cole and Archie Handy again on his debut. Michael Oliver, a non-finisher. Well, I'll get my breath back. You keep watching. Here's Pointy in Parc Fermé with the trucks.
Various members of his crew.
Right then, what a way to finish the weekend. John Powell in Division 2 taking the first place for himself. And over here, let's just come through. Let's come through over here. Dave Jenkins, 2nd place. What a battle, Dave. Fantastic job there. What a battle we saw at the last lap.
Yeah, no, it was a bit like yesterday, wasn't it? Steve just got away off the start again. I had to do everything I could to get through the pack, get after him, and then settle down. The lap times are very slow because of the hot temperature and the tyre circuit conditions. So, and then when I could see me just eating, and then there was a few laps where I could tell that Ryan wasn't getting any closer. I thought, yeah, this is game on. And then unfortunately Ryan got to me before I got to Steve, and then it was just a game of defending then. So no, thoroughly enjoyable weekend. Thanks to the fans, thanks to my team, and thanks to my sponsors, amazing, and my family of course, most importantly.
Obviously, wouldn't be here without any of them. What a combo. Dave Jenkins, phenomenal race, very well done.